Hello and welcome to our program tonight, and of course it's also Tuesday, so Sideway is lined up for you straight after the news. That's in the next hour, and tonight we are hosting the KFCB Chief Executive Officer Ezekiel Mutua, and of course we have all the stories making headlines for you both nationally and internationally. But first, let's take a look at the highlights.
Tonight, the piercing pain of the death at dawn.
Katika hii harakati ndio tulikimbia kwenda kuangalia watoto. Sasa ndio hapo tulipata kama huyo mtoto aliangukiwa na akaenda.
The painstaking search for clues from the ruins and the rising death toll from the Precious Talent School building tragedy. Also tonight, the deadly threat in Kisumu.
Nilikuwa ninadhani ni ugonjwa wa kawaida.
Cholera's grip on a Kisumu village tightens. Plus, tears for Tob Cohen, the Jewish rights for the Dutch billionaire's final journey. Also tonight, Mumias Sugar's unsavory fortunes, cash-strapped company now placed under receivership.
NTV Tonight with Ken Mijungu.
And David Agondoa joined us with the sign language interpretation tonight. And we start with the sad reality of the progressive sting of corruption and impunity. The official number of those who died at the Precious Talent Top School has risen to 8, with families coming to terms with the tragedy, but also kicking off preparations to lay their children to rest. Leila Mohammed visited one family in the village and brings us the tears, fears, and expectations of those affected by this tragedy.
They streamed out of the meeting in a single file. They did not say anything at the time, but their faces and body language spoke the language of discontentment. Parents of pupils at Precious Talent School left a meeting with the institution's owner, its management and education officials early Tuesday morning, appearing to have many unanswered questions as to how the fatality befell their 8 children. For some, the emotion was overwhelming and marked by the pain-laden tears of a parent who knows she has to bury her child. While parents seek answers, the children play away, swinging to their heart's content, oblivious of the intricacies of the dark cloud that has befallen their schoolmates. While investigators comb through the school at the nearby village, Nancy Kerubo sits in the midst of a gathering of family, seeming lost in her thoughts. The mother of 2 lost her firstborn daughter, 12-year-old Jacqueline Gesare, in the tragedy.
Asubuhi kamaliza kumprepare, tukaagana nikampea kwaheri, akaelekea shule.
Kerubo expresses the difficulty in telling what happened to Jacqueline to her 9-year-old sister.
Yeye anafikiria wakosi. Acha understand vile, atajua kifo ni nini.
The girl's father joined the parents at the Kabete police station to record statements. Back at home, family and friends gathered in mourning as they planned for the girl's final rites.
Saidia ni kusafirisha mwili, halafu na kitu tunaitwa ukweli ipatikane. Ukweli ipatikane, juu hatuwezi kujua ni nini ilisababisha. We want justice.
Tumetembea kwa kila familia na tukawaitisha one representative ili tutengeneze mambo ya wale ambao wameenda.
Nancy Kerubo bade her 12-year-old daughter goodbye Monday 6 a.m., hoping that the two of them would be reunited in the evening as usual every day of school. But she didn't know she was sending her daughter to her death. And now that the family is in mourning, they want the government to come in and help them first to lay their daughter to rest and to give them compensation. Leila Mohammed, NTV, Ngando, in Dagoretti South constituency, Nairobi.
Well, the very, very sad reality, even explaining to their siblings of what happened to their brothers and sisters, the sisters they just saw that morning before they left for school. And some parents of the pupils who died in that tragedy at Precious Talent Tob School in Ngando have recorded statements at the Kabete police station as investigations proceed. Now, the owner of the school, who once again was at the scene of the crime, is said to have also recorded his statement with the police. At the same time, detectives from the Criminal Directorate of Criminal Investigations camped at the scene of crime, piecing together evidence of the cause of the building collapse, and the detectives mapped out where the classes were as they combed through the rubble. Investigations will also seek to find how the owner of the school was allowed to put learners in a building that was structurally unsound. And of course, the tragedy of Precious Talent School building collapse has lifted the lid off the crisis facing the education sector in the country and county of Nairobi. The situation, however, has been simmering for a long time, since the halting of construction of new schools and much later the maintenance of the same. The details of this crisis first revealed in a detailed report released back in 2014. And as Brenda Wanga now reports, the outcome of that study continues to gather dust in City Hall's library.
The tragic deaths of 8 children, pupils of Precious Talent School in Ngandu, Dagoretti, has jolted the government into an admission that has been long overdue.
The school in Ngandu area is something that had been brought to our attention in terms of the presence of a public school. We've never had a public school in that area. The school we have there is a private school.
This admission backed by the results of a 2014 task force on education in Nairobi. That study, commissioned by the then Nairobi Governor Dr. Evans Kidero, had sought to find out what was ailing the education sector in the county and how to fix it. The results were startling. In a county with a rapidly growing school-going population, in 2014, there were only 21 standalone ECD centers. This complemented by 205 public primary schools serving about 200,000 children in a county with a population of about 700,000 such children. The secondary school sector also suffers a deficit of 116 schools. Then there were only 86 public secondary schools in Nairobi.
They keep on coming up because the ministry does not have a solid policy on what are the considerations for you to come up with a school.
School construction, at least by the county, stalled in the 80s, while the population, especially in informal settlements, continued to rise. The result of this has been the proliferation of private and complementary or alternative schools in the county. In 2013, there were 300 complementary schools that presented 8,820 candidates for the KCPE examination, and that number is likely to have risen by now.
Alternative has played a big role because otherwise we wouldn't really have managed to deepen access to education as we have done, particularly in cities and urban areas such as Nairobi, Mombasa and Kisumu. But at the same time, there are lots of challenges around regularization, registration and recognition, and this is solely the Minister of Education to blame.
The report had made a raft of recommendations aimed at turning around the city's children's education fortunes. Among them, the construction of 50 new schools, especially in high population areas, with special emphasis on Mukuru, Kwanjenga and Kayole, the construction of 40 new secondary schools, and the provision of adequate water and sanitation services across all levels of school. The task force also asked the county and national governments to ensure that the hazardous asbestos used to roof more schools were replaced. The security of the children was enhanced through the construction of perimeter walls around the schools, and the comfort of children in class guaranteed through adequate spacing in classes. These recommendations, like many other reports, are still being held within its pages. 5 years later, on the ground, the education sector continues to bear the brunt with increasingly fatal consequences. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
And on my take tonight on Sidebar, we'll be breaking down those numbers further. So stay tuned for Sidebar. You'll definitely be knowing the disturbing numbers. How many pupils are in the capital, and especially those mentioned wards, and how many schools are available for them? That coming up on my take on Sidebar in the next hour. But Ngando ward's population of public primary schools sticks out in southern levels. The closest public institution is in another ward and is kilometers away, forcing parents to make do with the private schools that are more conveniently located. Now, parents have raised concern on the same, and following the tragic incident at Precious Talent Top School, they are not relenting. NTV's Sharon Murang'a walked the journey to the nearest public primary school in the company of some learners.
Monica Chepchirchir is at home with her 4 children. She is a mother of 5 children whose basic education has been shaped at Precious Talents Top School. The school is one of the jewels at Ngando Ward in Dagoretti. It is a private school that has made it possible for children to access education. Apart from being conveniently close to their home,
sio shule mbaya. Chumi watoto yangu wote wamepita huko. Shule iko sawa. Kuperform, wana perform mzuri.
Ngando neighbors 3 other wards which have public primary schools. There is Kinyanjui Road Primary School in Riruta Ward, Jamhuri Primary School in Kibra Ward, and Ngong Forest Primary School in Langata Ward.
But iko distant. Yenye hawa watoto wadogo itaweza kuwa kasi kuamsha mtoto aende mpaka huko. Alafu barabara yenyewe ni ile rough road, magari ndio hiyo, pikipiki ndio hiyo.
Mtu kama huyo, tuseme kama huyu wa talent, yes, ni mtu anataka kusaidia, maybe ana hiyo capability ya kujenga building strong. Kwa ajili sasa, yani kwa ajili anaona hapa hakuna public school na watoto ni wengi, population iko juu na hakuna shule. Sasa kama huyu mwalimu wa talent, mimi naona ako na ile moyo wa kusaidia, serikali haifai kumlaumu.
We then decided to embark on a journey from Monica's house to the nearest public primary school in the company of her 3 children who all school at the tragedy-struck school. The youngest of them, who is in standard 1, Michelle Patasum, is among the pupils who are treated and discharged from Kenyatta National Hospital after a head injury and complaints of pain on her right hand. The distance from Monica's home to Precious Talent School is roughly 200 meters. It took us about 5 minutes to get here. We then started off to the nearest public primary school in this area, the Kinyanjui Road Primary. On the way, Franklin tells me that his favorite subject is science.
Engineer.
Brilliant, who tops her class, loves her school. She says she intends to sit for her Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination next year at the institution.
My favorite subject is mathematics and science. When I grow up, I would like to be a neurosurgeon.
On the way, we pass by some private schools like Precious Talents that save many pupils the distance to public schools. It takes about 45 minutes to get to Kinyanjui Road Primary School, which is the nearest public school from Monica's home. By now, Brilliant, Franklin and Michelle are tired, and so are we. To cool down, we get some ice cream. Kinyanjui Road Primary School is like any typical public school. It is big, and facilities here seem better. For now, Precious Talents Top School has been closed for 4 days, though parents are not sure where their children will be reporting to next week. Sharon Murang'a, NTV.
And away from that, slain Dutch businessman Tob Cohen has finally been laid to rest at a Jewish cemetery right here in the capital. The ceremony was conducted by 10 rabbi or traditional teachers in the presence of family, relatives and close friends and the lawyers, of course. The closely guarded ceremony was conducted according to the Jewish customs and traditions. NTV's Silas Apollo reports that an emotional Sarah Rimu Cohen was present for her husband's send-off.
The final journey of slain Dutch businessman Tob Cohen began at the Chiromo Funeral Parlor, where his body has been lying after it was retrieved from an underground water tank just over a week ago. At the mortuary, the body was washed before Jewish rites were performed by a rabbi. In a private ceremony where only close family members were allowed, the body was then put into a casket made of cardboard before starting its journey to the Jewish cemetery along Wangari Maathai Road. Here, Friends, family and relatives, including members of the diplomatic corps, had gathered. Also at the cemetery and in close company of security personnel, Cohen's wife, Sarah Wairimu, who is accused of his murder, stood through her husband's final journey. The closely guarded ceremony, which began a few minutes after 4 o'clock, was conducted by 10 rabbi. First were the ceremonial prayers which the rabbi did in turns. Some family members and close friends were then given time to speak before the casket was moved to the grave with the help of a group of rabbi. More prayers were made again, only that this time no family member or friend was allowed close by. The charging emotions on Wairimu's face told of emotions buried beneath the somber mood at the cemetery. She would sometimes stare pensively, and at other times her tears would be too swollen to hold back. A lawyer representing the family earlier told NTV that the Jewish customs prohibits women close to the grave at that point of the ceremony. Wairimu family and friends were later allowed a chance to throw soil into the grave, marking the end of the journey of the billionaire boardroom executive turned tours and travel mogul. Police say they will be holding Wairimu for more days to allow for conclusion of investigations. Other suspects have since been arrested in connection with the murder. Silas Apollo, NTV.
All right, if you live in Kisumu or you're planning to travel to Kisumu, here's a story you have to pay attention to. A cholera outbreak has hit Kisumu County and in its wake has left 2 dead. Further, there are a number of cases of severe diarrhea and vomiting reported in Ongadi village, that's in Kisumu East. However, some residents are yet to fully comprehend the magnitude of the situation, with others saying they are yet to improve despite being put on treatment. One of the residents who NTV spoke to had to be rushed back to hospital after he deteriorated, while another was responding well to treatment. Samples have been taken to the Kenya Medical Research Institute, Kisumu Station, for testing. The public health team suspects possible contamination of the water at the nearby Awach River as the cause of that situation. Now, the outbreak comes at a time when a strike by the health workers in the county gets into its 3rd week. And away from that, back to the Capital, a parliamentary committee probing the taxman's audited accounts for the last 3 fiscal years was forced to adjourn the sittings following KRA's disorganized financial records. Unbelievable. Now, the Parliamentary Investment Committee was asked by the way KRA had organized its record, derailing that meeting. KRA's Commissioner General Gidi Mburu had to be summoned to answer questions raised by the former Auditor General Edward Ouko on the authority's audited accounts for the financial years ending 2014, 2015 and 2017-2018. Now, the MPs were keen on the variance in revenue collected at different domestic tax stations and what KRA had reported. They also wanted to know about the various ineffective debt management operations after several failed attempts at keeping up with the document arrangement. The committee chairperson, who is also the Mvita Member of Parliament, Abdul Samad Nasir, who adjourned the sitting to tomorrow, asked KRA to get their act together.
As much as the documents seem that they're here, but the way they have been labeled and the way they've been filed is wrong. And it is wrong in the sense that we can't have one appendix here and then the other one we have to search for it. They're not well labeled.
Very difficult for us as members of this committee to execute our mandate with this kind of arrangement. Kindly, let us give KRA team to go and prepare their documents properly so that we don't waste our time and we don't waste their time.
We want to give the Kenya Revenue Authority a fair hearing. And when you examine their records, we want to give them a fair hearing so that whatever we give, Kenyans can also see that we're doing the correct thing. So we don't want just to force things and say we want to go into records that are jumbled. We can't find, we want proper records actually put so that there can be a reference.
Well, same guys we trust with our taxes. If they can't get documents in order, can we trust them to account for our taxes? Question that you can answer. A 58-year-old man in Tana River County is making waves in the county's telecommunication industry, having set up a mobile radio station which he broadcast off his boda. Now, Victor Ngama thirst for an opportunity to expand his knowledge in radio transmission after his offer in the early 90s by then President Daniel Arap Moi to attend training in Israel did not go through. Charity Mwangi brings us the story of Tana River's teacher turned innovator.
His innovations have brought him before the high and mighty twice. First at the Mombasa Jua Kali show in 1990 and second time at the Kenyatta International Conference Center as it was known then. And each time, Victor Ngama says he would catch the eye of the then president, Daniel Arap Moi.
I came to make a vegetable cutting machine when I was a bachelor, you know.
He was featured on this newspaper for his creation, a clock powered by water only. But it is his latest innovation that has flung him into the limelight afresh. The teacher at Mikinduni Primary School in Tana River County could well be a media mogul in the making. His boda boda has a transmitter that allows him to broadcast his radio station Sindo FM to listeners residing a quarter kilometer from wherever he may be.
By right ningekuwa nikutumia microphone, lakini katika vitabu nimesoma naambiwa a speaker also is a microphone and a microphone is a speaker. So nikajaribu ku reverse hizo process. So nilipojaribu ku reverse nikatafuta nikakuta frequency nimeingia frequency ya 90 sijui ngapi, mara nashika 92, mara nashika 93.
He is the sound engineer, the announcer and DJ all wrapped into one. A one-man mobile radio show, a first of his kind.
When we want to have a meeting with our parents, inakuwa kuliko kuandika barua haraka kumwambia ati peleka barua huku na huku. We just switch on the radio station.
Ngama's interest in electronics continues to grow, though opportunities to advance his research remains limited. He laments over the opportunities he has lost mysteriously.
Because Moi aliniahidia kwenda ng'ambo. Ilikuwa watu 50 tukaambiwa register your names, akachukuliwa, nikaambiwa utapelekwa Israel. So the next year ilipokuja ile list ya majina, mimi jina yangu sikuona hapo.
He says the then Communication Commission of Kenya, CCK, now Communications Authority, offered him a community radio frequency.
Rumors are saying again that that radio station imepewa mtu ambaye sijui ni nani.
58-year-old Ngama has urged the government to provide opportunities for the youth while they are still young. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Victor Ngama, aka mtaani naitwa
A first of its kind indeed. And CECAFA, please tap that talent. Time now for a short break, but coming up on the other side, how second-term governors are fighting off the political cold that they may be thrown into after the election in 2022.
Today's a toilet day.
What? Oh.
Selena!
Toilet day?
Tomorrow we're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation.
It's a toilet, not a white shirt. Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with bleach and detergent, it still won't be party ready.
Impossible.
Challenge. Harpic 10X. Even if you use bleach and detergent 10 times, they won't give you the same sparkling clean toilet that Harpic 10X will give you.
Wow!
Harpic 10X. Harpic, Kenya's #1 toilet cleaner.
Eldoret Technical Training Institute is a student-centered institution offering competency-based training and market-driven courses at higher diploma, certificate and artisan level in the following programs: engineering, building and construction, business administration and commerce, agriculture and animal health, tourism and hospitality management, education, social studies, information communication technology, accounting, banking and finance, medical and health sciences, journalism and mass communication. Registration for September and January intakes is ongoing. Apply now. SMS your details to the numbers on your screen. Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Are you looking for quality rental property investment or a place to call home within close proximity to major business, social amenities and newly built infrastructure? The Grand Eben is an elite architectural jewel strategically located along Ngong Road, just 10 meters from the dual carriageway, 2 kilometers from the lavish Ngong Racecourse and Golf Club, and within a walking distance from the Junction Mall. The ongoing road infrastructure development, turning Ngong Road into a dual carriageway, signifies that the Grand Eben investors will benefit from rental demand in the short term and value appreciation over the medium term. Experience the grand life by scheduling a site visit to our show house today and enjoy a special offer from 12 million shillings only. Call 0707 111 777 or visit us online at www.rochman-properties.co.ke. Rochman Properties Limited, delivering the promise always.
Okash is the quickest and easiest way to request short-term loans from your mobile phone whenever you need them. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings in one day and choose between a 15 or 29-day term to repay it at a fair interest rate that adjusts to your needs. Okash connects seamlessly with your M-Pesa account to facilitate and speed up your loan requests. Download Okash today from Google Play Store and join thousands of Kenyans enjoying the Okash experience.
Hey, mister. Where you going?
Men clean their cars themselves. I'll also clean my own bike. I'm grown up now.
Then you'll need this. The most pleasant surprise for a mother is to see her child growing up. But I know as he learns to take more responsibility, he'll face more dirt, germs, and the risk of illness.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection, because Dettol cleans and protects against 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
You are distinctive. You are esteemed. You are remarkable. You are exceptional. And so should be your investment. Standard Investment Bank Limited is licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority as the first online forex trading money manager trading as Mansa X. With Mansa X, you enjoy investment diversification away from traditional asset classes. It is highly liquid, enabling you to access funds at any time with minimal loss of value. Our expertise is unmatched, spanning over 20 years. Invest with Mansa X today, Kenya's first and only regulated online forex trading money manager.
Roll camera and action.
Kitupungua hapa. Mara business, mara transaction. Mimi si vitu sielewi, lakini kuwachunguza lazima, bwana yako lazima ajue. Tabibu si ni karatasi tu. Sio dola ni karatasi.
Ama unataka niwaambie vile ulinipatia gigs?
T-shirt ni ya nani?
T-shirt ulikuwa unavaa ile time ulikuwa unalikati, hata ukinikati ulikuwa umevaa t-shirt.
Hautoki hapa.
Unajua sitaka kama inge ndo unaongelelea. Mimi tunakoja hapa ni breakfast, ni ebe mahusu zangu.
Why are you so extravagant?
Yeah! Okash is the quickest and easiest way to request short-term loans from your mobile phone whenever you need them. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings in one day and choose between a 15 or 29-day term to repay it. Download Okash today from Google Play Store, enjoying the Okash experience.
And so we are learning new details about the Huduma Number. I'll be telling you that shortly. But first, 4 people have died while 12 others are in critical condition after a tragic accident at the river Murang'a, that's along the Canal Murang'a Road. Now, Murang'a County Commander Josephat Kinyo says the 4 were traveling in a public service vehicle when it collided head-on with the lorry at the bridge where there is a sharp bend. The other 12 who were rushed to the Murang'a Level 5 hospital where they are receiving treatment. The police boss has urged motorists to drive with caution from the Ithurui Bridge to Mukuyu, as many people have lost their lives on that location. Now, the accident comes after another 4 people died last month in a grisly road crash at the bridge after the vehicle they were traveling in plunged into the river. Away from that, 5 suspects are acquitted of defrauding Mumias Sugar Company of its 2.3 billion shillings piece of land. Will know their fate on Monday when the High Court will rule on the direction of the public prosecution's appeal. All right, let's take you back to the Huduma Number, and we are learning that the system is prone to hacking. This is according to an information technology expert who submitted this and more of his assertions in court. He further disclosed that Kenyans have no guarantee that their information, including personal emails, are secure in the National Integrated Identity Management System, that's NIMS. NTV's Seth Olale with that report.
A cybersecurity and computer fraud forensic analysis expert appeared before a 3-judge bench comprising Weldon Korir, Pauline Nyamoya and Mumbingugi. Anand Venkatana Tayanan told the court that the infrastructure behind the Huduma Number system moves in a contrary direction from that of other countries which are embracing a decentralization of information. The IT expert, who has worked in the profession for the last 21 years, was testifying in a case in which the Kenya Human Rights Commission, the Nubian Rights Forum, and the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights are challenging the launch of the National Integrated Identity Management System, NIMS.
For a technical question, it's kind of very obvious how an existing system, which is pre-NIMS, is already there.
The witness added that the digital platform that seeks to digitize and centralize records of vital life events of citizens and foreigners in Kenya is prone to hacking. When he appeared before the same judges on the first day of the hearing, he denied being a hacker. He pointed out that the hackers would benefit more to have illegally acquired information on Kenyans from NIMS. In April, the 3 judges gave the state a go-ahead to launch the fresh digital registration of all Kenyans, but barred it from collecting citizens' DNA and GPS information, forceful listing, as well as locking out the unregistered from accessing government services. Seth Olale, NTV.
Controversy continues to stalk the NIMS each and every single day. Controversy. Let's move on from that. And governors have rejected a proposal by ODM leader Raila Odinga to create another layer of representation in the form of regional bosses. According to the governors who discussed the issue as part of their Ugatuzi initiative bill, adding that the layer will increase bureaucracy and burden Kenyans even more. NTV's political affairs reporter Kenneth Muredi tells us the bill has more benefits for MCAs and their welfare.
23 governors who are serving their second term may be bolted into political oblivion after the 2022 elections. Those who are not ready for the cold are aligning themselves for survival. Majority of governors have rejected a proposal, first fronted by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, of introducing another layer of governance to give popular governors another stab at representation. The idea is to have regional leaders who will be in charge of the 8 former provinces, and county governors within the region will report to the said leader. When put to a vote as to whether it should be included as part of the proposals for the Ugatuzi initiative, it failed to sail through.
Instead of creating another bureaucracy, another political layer, the most appropriate thing for us to do is to strengthen the economic blocks, which we have already started in various counties.
The likes of Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya and his Mombasa counterpart Ali Hassan Joho have shown interest in vying for presidency, while others such as Siaya Governor Cornel Rasanga have expressed interest in a Senate seat. Opposition leader Raila Odinga had proposed to have the layer and give a political lifeline for exiting governors.
Those prominent Kenyans, we believe you have not a president or a prime minister, you could be a deputy prime minister. Then all these other positions, they speak of the Senate, they speak of the Assembly. They are also very important positions.
Another form of lifeline for the exiting governors is the proposal to have an all-inclusive government that accommodates all the 47 counties.
Each county produces either a minister or an assistant minister, or a permanent or a principal secretary.
On offer for members of county assemblies as sweeteners to their approving the bill is the creation of a ward development fund akin to the National Government Constituency Development Fund, car grants, inclusion into the county governments by having 2/3 of the county executive committee members being MCAs.
They should be treated just like we treat members of parliament, but at a lower scale.
And in what the governors see as the cure to the ethnic tensions that are associated with every electioneering period, they are proposing that the electorate has to elect a political party, and the party leader of that particular political party is the one to be given the slot of a prime minister. They're also proposing the election of a president through the electoral college, where all elected leaders will meet at one particular point and decide who will be the president, whose only role will be that of defense and foreign relations. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Nairobi County.
Right, to Kericho now, where detectives are searching for 3 people suspected of murdering the general manager of rice cement factory. Chetan Vyas, who lived by himself, was allegedly strangled to death in his house, which is within the factory premises in Soin Ward at the border of Kericho and Kisumu counties. Now, police say that the suspects killed Chetan and made away with 6 bags of, or whose contents were unknown. According to Kericho County Deputy Police Commander Patricia Nasio, the suspects disconnected the CCTV cameras in the house. The body of the deceased was discovered by the house help and taken to the morgue in Kisumu. It will be later flown to India for interment.
Kuingia ndani ya nyumba, wakaingilia juu ya roof, wakatoa tiles, wakapitia kwa store ya kitchen. Ndipo wakaingia kwa bedroom yake. Walimfunga kamba kwa miguu na kumfunga kwa mikono. Kisha wakamnyonga. Uchunguzi bado inaendelea ndio tuweze kujua nini ilifanyika na nani alifanya hao mambo.
Well, from that unfortunate incident, it's about 25 minutes to the top of the hour, but still ahead in this broadcast. It was once the biggest sugar mill, not just in the country, but in the region. And today, Mumias Sugar is debt-ridden, on its knees, and has just gone under receivership. Details coming up in Business with Julian Ambon.
Melissa? Mom, it's Dad's birthday today. I'm giving him a party just like he gives me.
Nothing makes a mother more proud than seeing her child growing up. But I know that as she learns to care for others, she'll face even more germs and the risk of illnesses.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection. Just 1 cup of Dettol protects your home and family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari. Je, biashara imekwama na hauna kakitu? School fees hauna na kumekauka? Au ni tokens zimeisha na huna cash? Usiworry, kwani unaweza chukua Senti. Senti inatatua mahitaji yako yote ya kifedha. Download Senti kutoka Play Store upate cash instantly. Terms and conditions apply.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate. Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities for maximum cavity protection. And now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
Delta Properties is pleased to introduce Taji Residence, contemporary apartments with conventional 3-bedroom and duplexes plus DSQ in Kilimani, offering an 8-year payment plan at 0% interest. It comprises of the state-of-the-art facilities like swimming pool, gym, spa, a rooftop terrace, a standby backup generator, and a borehole. You are invited to the open days on 28th and 29th September in Kilimani along Nyangumi Road. Call us today on 0743 744 271.
Tusonge mbele na Fiber Mobile. Get a Fiber SIM card today and enjoy Tusonge mbele bundles at affordable prices.
We define great moments in higher learning through our tradition, diversity, friendship, and merit. The depth and relevance of our academic programs is our pride as we shape our graduates beyond the intellect. We are ready for you. St. Paul's University avails to you variety and consistency as we keep our programs technologically driven and entrepreneurially linked to inspire innovation and service. The door to excellence is open for you. Join us now for our intake. For further information, call us or interact with us online. St. Paul's University, unleashing untapped potential.
Mama, how can I be a champion runner?
Well, you've got to be like a geisha ball. Stay strong and go so far.
Be strong and last long.
Like geisha.
NTV Business News in association with Sanlam Kenya.
Glad you could join us on The Only Name in Business. Welcome, I am Julian Amboko. Trouble Mumias Sugar Company has been placed under receivership to protect its assets and maintain operations. In a notice issued to newsrooms, KCB Bank says that it has appointed PVR Rao as the administrator in a move aimed at reviving the sugar company to financial stability and recover debts owed to the bank. The sugar miller has been clutching other straws over the years to stay afloat, and the county government of Kakamega recently unveiled a report that details the ills of the company and how best to pull it back on its feet. KCB says the receivership will protect the bank's assets against unsecured creditors who are already in court and will work closely with the administrator to provide any material and information to investors and creditors. This happens even as the Sugar Directorate reveals that the company will continue to rely heavily on imported sugar to supply the high demand of the sweetener, with imports increasing by 120% last month compared to the corresponding period last year.
Wakatujulisha ya kwamba yeye amekuja kutake over kama receiver manager na akapeana makaratasi yale ambayo yanatakana kutoka kotini tukapatia wa legal associates, akaangalia akasema kweli haya ni makaratasi ya kutoka kotini.
You've not spoken to the board.
Even the
How
leadership.
do you,
We are even wondering who are these people that are taking you around.
You see, we have only
Are they?
and you see, it is our responsibility, and especially me, it's my responsibility to take care of any assets that are within Kakamega County that interest the people of Kakamega.
It is okay. It is,
Yes.
all assets are here only.
Interesting situation there. Moving on, as the deadline to switch the old 1,000 shilling note approaches, the Central Bank of Kenya has raised concern that unscrupulous people are using illicit cash to buy wheat in Narok as the number of cash buyers rises. CBK has, however, maintained and remained categorical that the 30th September deadline to make the switch will not be extended.
When September 30th happens, close of business September 30th, you cannot go backwards. So it closes everything. No, it is fixed. I guess I would say it's fixed in concrete. What is most important now is to make sure that people have vacuumed their houses. Your grandma, your mom, your aunt, that they have actually done a good check in their houses. All I can tell you, it's legal tender to the date that we indicated, 30th. And it is important for all the actors, all concerned, to do what they can to make sure that those currencies get to the central bank before the end of close of business of that day.
And from the central bank, let's cross the street to the National Treasury, where Acting Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani has urged the Public Service Commission to rein in on the ballooning public sector wage bill in his continued push for austerity in the government. Spending on salaries and allowances for public servants is believed to have hit 790 billion shillings in the last financial year, up from 520 billion shillings in the financial year 2013-2014, taking the public sector wage bill to the ordinary revenue ratio of 43%.
As we embark on this planned period, Kenyans expect you to come up with practical solutions to the current challenges of bloated public service in the counties, ballooning wage bill, and high levels of youth unemployment, among others. Because currently, most county governments are spending over 60% of their budgets on salaries, which leaves very little or no funds for development, hence little value to the taxpayer. This trend needs to be reversed, where people are employed based on, not on merit, but other consideration, but then they just become, an employment bureau.
Now, the Central Bank of Kenya projects the economy will grow by 6% this year, a marginal slowdown from the growth of 6.3% that was achieved last year. CBK Governor Patrick Njoroge knows that external factors are worsening dramatically and could dent the country's growth prospects significantly. Alex Mwangi with the details.
Economic figures for the second quarter of 2019 will soon be officially released, and the Central Bank of Kenya estimates that the economy grew by 5.8% within that period. The CBK is, however, concerned that external factors are causing massive headwinds to the economy.
There are not things that we ourselves have control over. The trade wars is one of them. I think we understand that. The appreciation that there will be no winners in the trade war hasn't fully been absorbed by all the players around that war.
The global economy is expected to feel the strain of Brexit this year, if indeed Britain gets out of the European Union without a deal at the end of October. Businesses in Britain have already started feeling the winds of uncertainty, and fears abound that this could cascade to other jurisdictions.
We were assured that no matter what happens, the Brexit agenda, we will have our trading regime with the UK will remain invariant. So it won't change.
The liquidity of the US dollar, the anchor currency for the global economy, has also come into the radar of the CBK.
On top of that, there is uncertainty about the response, the policy response to the things that are happening in the global fora.
Closer home, the fiscal consolidation being undertaken by the National Treasury and matter of pending bills, that is, the delayed payments to businessmen, are also expected to contribute significantly to the well-being of Kenya's economy. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
And on to agriculture, the International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center has called on the National Environmental Management Authority, that is NEMA, to approve the pending applications for National Performance Trial on genetically modified maize. The organization says the delay in getting approvals for national performance trials is an injustice to the farmers who are currently not getting value for money for the varieties they plant. Scientists say genetically modified foods, which are currently banned in Kenya, will help control pests, increase productivity, and enhance food security in the country. And staying closely with that, horticulture industry players have dismissed the motion to ban some pesticide products in the country. The stakeholders say the pesticides play a crucial role in food security and are instead calling for a better implementation of user guidelines that can protect users from the chemical when in use. Speaking during a press conference, they said it is responsible to ban pesticides because since Kenya is a tropical country, it is prone to pests and diseases. Their ban dismissal comes a few weeks after Uasin Gishu woman Rep Gladys Cholera called on for the urgent withdrawal of dozens of pesticides from the market, claiming that they contain harmful chemicals.
This environment is preferred by a lot of insects, a lot of other pests that affect most of our fruits and vegetables. And it's almost impossible that we can produce our fruits and vegetables free of pesticides.
And up next, we have the financial report.
NTV Financial Report in association with Kenya Ports Authority. Financial Report in association with Kenya Ports Authority.
We move what you make. Kenya Ports Authority. Growing business, enriching lives.
At Sanlam, we truly understand the value of each promise. And for over 100 years, we have been keeping promises for all our clients. Sanlam, every promise needs a keeper.
And that's it from the business desk. We take a breather, but after the break. Premarital sex took them to the streets. We tell you what that's all about.
John suffers from indigestion. His twin James suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Okash is the quickest and easiest way to request short-term loans from your mobile phone whenever you need them. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings in one day and choose between a 15 or 29-day term to repay it at a fair interest rate that adjusts to your needs. Okash connects seamlessly with your M-Pesa account to facilitate and speed up your loan requests. Download Okash today from Google Play Store and join thousands of Kenyans enjoying the Okash experience.
We all dread welcoming unexpected guests to our homes, but they come anyway. The unexpected can come in the form of fire, floods, or even burglars. Prepare for the unexpected. Protect your assets with home insurance. To learn more, talk to an insurance company, agent, or broker today. This message is brought to you by the Association of Kenya Insurers.
Download the Glovo app today, and when you need anything, order Glovo and we'll deliver it in minutes.
And welcome back. The World Health Organization has reiterated that it raised concerns about the death of a person with suspected Ebola in Tanzania, not that there was Ebola in that country. Target Mengistu, the top World Health Organization official in the country, honored summons by Tanzania's Deputy Foreign Minister, where he sought to clarify the organization's comment. The summons followed the organization's lengthy condemnation of Tanzania's health authorities failing to provide information on suspected Ebola cases. And away from that, thousands of protesters gathered outside Indonesia's parliament to protest a wide-ranging legal overhaul that will criminalize premarital sex, restrict sales of contraceptives, make it illegal to insult the president, and tighten blasphemy laws. Now, the new laws could affect tourism as millions of tourists visit Bali and other beach destinations in the southern East Asia nation. And away from that, Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he strongly disagrees with the Supreme Court ruling that suspending Parliament was unlawful. He says that the government will respect the decision. Now, the court had accused the Prime Minister Boris Johnson of suspending the legislature to limit the time lawmakers have to debate and intervene in his Brexit policy. Right, time for another break, but coming up on the other side, first batch of the Team Kenya athletes lands in Qatar for the World Championship, but under a cloud of doping allegations. We tell you why Athletics Kenya is reading malice in the latest claims.
Standard Investment Bank Limited is licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority as the first online forex trading money manager. Invest with Mansa X today, Kenya's first and only regulated online forex trading money manager.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
As a doctor, I like to help women through their journey. My focus is to ensure optimal health and safety for both mom and baby. Join me and other doctors at the Baby Banda Pregnancy and Baby Fair, and let us help you along your journey.
Come to the Baby Banda Fair at the Sari from 4th to 6th of October 2019.
Download the Glovo app today, and when you need anything, order Glovo and we'll deliver it in minutes.
In your paper this week, Westgate 6 years later. How terror attack jolted regional police chiefs into closer cooperation. Big oil demands that angered Museveni. The collapse of Total pipeline deal was more of Uganda's refusal to bend. The making of a white elephant. Kenya's oil jetty in Kisumu sits pretty, waiting on Uganda as Lake Victoria oil transport stalls. Somalia, Ethiopia abandon Mombasa port. Saving grace lies in DRC. Plus our opinion leaders. No banana republic. Ugandans have the most creative ways of selling fuel according to Onyango Obo. A fool's paradise. The folly of believing in miracles will be our death, says Generali Ulimwengu. The Sentry Report. South Sudan leaders and cronies cited in war profiteering. For East African, understanding the region.
Roll camera and action.
Ukifungua hapa mara business mara transaction mimi si vitu sielewi, lakini kuwachunguza lazima bwana yako lazima ajue.
Tabibu si ni karatasi tu. Sio ndio ni karatasi. Ama unataka niwaambie vile ulinipatia gigi.
T-shirt ni ya nani?
T-shirt ulikuwa unavaa ile time ulikuwa unanikati, hata ukinikati ulikuwa umevaa t-shirt.
Hautoki hapa.
Unajua sitaka inge mdo unonongelelea. Mimi tunakojea hapa ni breakfast ni edema husu zangu.
Why are you so extravagant?
Yeah.
Okash is the quickest and easiest way to request short-term loans from your mobile phone whenever you need them. You can borrow up to 50,000 Kenya shillings in one day and choose between a 15 or 29 day term to repay it. Download Okash today from Google Play Store, enjoying the Okash experience.
NTV Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Very good evening to you. I'm Sean Carter-Villas with the latest sports news. Now, the first batch of athletes to fly the country's flag at the World Championships in Doha, Qatar, arrived in the country this morning. Meanwhile, Athletics Kenya has rubbished claims by German media ZDF that 2 athletes were injected performance-enhancing EPO administered by a doctor ahead of the championships, which is set to start on the 27th.
Athletics Kenya is reading malice after German media released a report claiming that 2 Kenyan athletes have taken performance-enhancing erythropoietin, popularly known as EPO, ahead of the World Championships that kicks off on Friday in Doha, Qatar. German television ZDF claims to have filmed a doctor administering EPO on 2 Kenyan athletes, and in a statement to newsrooms, AK says it's an intention to embarrass Athletics Kenya and Kenya athletes for no good cause. In response to allegations by Mr. Marcus Ham, Athletics Kenya dared him to prove his claims and enable them to take action against the accused. With Kenya still on the IAAF doping watch list, Team Kenya athletes to Doha were required to have had 3 out-of-competition tests and 1 in-competition test, which includes tests for blood and urine. Athletes who had not fulfilled the requirement were not included in the final list of athletes to Doha. 12 Kenyan athletes have this year been suspended or banned for doping offences, taking the total so far to 41 athletes currently under sanctions. Meanwhile, the first batch of Team Kenya to the 2019 World Championships arrived in Doha, Qatar this morning. The team included athletes that will represent the country in the men and women's 3,000 meters steeplechase, the men and women 400 meters and 800 meters, the women's marathon as well as the men's 5,000 meters. Kenya, who finished second behind USA in the last edition held in London, will be hoping to better their 11th medal haul of 5 gold, 2 silver and 4 bronze when the championship kicks off on the 27th. This is Kenyan-born American athletes, among them Olympics 5,000 meters silver medalist Paul Chelimo. Shadrack Kipchirchir and Stanley Kebenei have been camping at Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet, training in various parts of Elgeyo Marakwet and Uasin Gishu counties ahead of their departure for Doha later this week. Brian Otwal, NTV Sport.
Now, the race to the Ineos 159 Challenge is drawing closer, even as main man Eliud Kipchoge continues to put all his energies to work as he makes his second attempt towards breaking the under 2 hours barrier. Kipchoge's attempt has drawn him enough visitors as he prepares for that marathon in his home county of Uasin Gishu. Lois Wangui reports.
An early morning run complete 10 pacemakers is a daily regimen for Eliud Kipchoge ahead of his Ineos 159 Challenge, where the world marathon record holder will attempt to run a marathon in under 2 hours. As such, Kipchoge attracted local and international support. On this day, Spain connected with Eldoret.
I'm in love with him. I wish him all the luck in the world, really. Like, I would love him to do the record.
You can feel the energy, and you can feel in their, for example, Kipchoge's eyes is different. It's very focused, and it gives you like energy, and it's very special. And it's very, it gives you a lot of energy.
Kipchoge, who was only 26 shy of breaking the 2-hour barrier in Monza, Italy in 2017, has expressed optimism ahead of his Ineos 159.00 challenge in Vienna, Austria in about 3 weeks. This group of tourists drawn from a running club in Spain observed that the greatest of all-time marathoner is fit to break the 2-hour barrier in marathon's history.
Maybe in 2 weeks he's going to be the first man in history under 2 hours in marathon. And that is awesome for us. It's like a crazy dream, and he's getting it.
Ineos and Global Sports Camp are yet to conclude the cast of pacemakers for Vienna.
Well, we trust that they are going to achieve because it's going to be unbelievable the moment they cross the finish line, and the watch is going to mark under 2 hours. We trust on them.
No human has limits, and Eliud Kipchoge is optimistic his second historic attempt will see him lucky in catching the proverbial elusive rabbit in the Ineos 159.00 challenge in Vienna, Austria next month. Lois Wangoi, NTV Sports, Eldoret.
Kenya were held 2-2 by Tanzania at the Under-20 CECAFA Challenge Cup, and that was at the FUFA Technical Center in Jinja, Uganda. AFC Leopards forward Austin Odhiambo and Patrick Otieno scored Kenya's goals in either half, with Albert Simchimba, who scored a hat-trick in his team's opening match against Ethiopia, and Abdul Hamis being on target for Tanzania's equalizers. The result leaves both teams with 4 points each and on the brink of qualification to the quarterfinals of the tournament. Kenya plays bottom of the table Ethiopia in their final group match on Thursday, while Tanzania plays third place Zanzibar to decide which two teams advance from the Group B. Kenya's wait for an elusive win at the 2019 FIVB World Cup continues, and the marquee strikers now risk finishing without a win after going down in straight sets to China in Japan. Marquee strikers lost 25-12, 25-12, 25-14 in their 8th match of the ongoing competition. Despite the loss, it was yet another good performance for youngster Sharon Kipchoge, who led Kenya's attack with 9 points.
You are just in time. The live link will be done by Muledan. And sports has a lot to be shown. And Sean Cadavillis
keeping you up to date with all you need to know as and when it happens.
It's not been a very good morning in the country. We've had a very grisly accident.
Clear context to all the relevant issues.
Reacquire the property they've gotten with our looted money and save this country for my child and daughter Teko and the many children.
From our studios to the ground, where the action is live.
Misuse of funds here in the country.
Someone donating their hat to Bernard Ojwang there.
34 points to 9 win against a spirited Russia. The Pacific Islanders went down to 13 men in
Welcome
the first
to
half.
Today. You are just in time. The live link will be done by Muledan. And sports has a lot to be shown.
And Sean Vasily Artemiev. Russia led at the break thanks to 2 penalties from Yuri Kushnerev, but Samoa found their fluency to run in 5 second-half tries and eased to victory as the Bears ran out of steam. Samoa narrowly topped Pool A,
conversation
which also contains
starters
host
and
Japan as well as Ireland
hard-hitting
and
interviews that
Scotland
keep you
on points
informed for the
difference.
day ahead.
Happened early, 6 on the nose. These people don't sleep. Fix fast the data protection law, then they come up with a number.
Exactly my question to CS Joe Michelle.
Welcome to Living with Us. I'm your host, Sharon Mondia. Boy, have you missed
Finally,
out.
football,
Stop your wheel.
Carabao Cup, Manchester City have started their defense of the
Thank
Carabao
you
Cup
for joining
away
us
to
on
Preston
NTV
North End
today.
this
We
evening.
have our
With the
reporters
team
in different
currently in
locations.
action.
NTV is
In
right
their
here
head-to-head,
to
Man
bring
City have
you
won 41
everything
times to
from the
Preston's
beginning to the
34
end.
with 18
ni
draws.
NTV
And the
sasa.
last time they
Kuna
met,
mambo
City
mengi
won
sana ambayo
3-1 in the
yanafanyika.
FA Cup
Sasa ni
back in
kumtuliza.
2007.
Hii inaitwa sensory
In select
integration.
fixtures, Arsenal host Nottingham Forest, which is currently live on Supersport. It is 0-0 at the moment at the Emirates Stadium. Tottenham travel to Colchester and Luton Town play
NTV
Leicester
in the
City.
morning. All you need to know to start your day.
Nilizae kama hajalema.
Serikali leta dawa gani?
Alright, so that action, of course, currently live on Supersport. Don't forget, of course, we'll have a roundup tomorrow right here on NTV. That's the latest sports news. Back to you, Ken.
Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, thanks very much, Son Carvelis and earlier Julian Samboka. And of course, our sign language interpreter tonight has been David Agundoa. But remember, it's Tuesday, and like every Tuesday, it's Sidebar. So straight after this, we have Sidebar, and Dr. Ezekiel Mutua is already in studio, KFCB Chief Executive Officer. He's speaking to us about a lot of issues, and this is an interview you don't want to miss. So stay tuned. We're coming back in about 2 minutes. Stick with us.